Hey guys, Steve the Audio Guy here. Thanks for coming back to the channel, and as always, please hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified when new videos come out. A couple of weeks ago, I got home from Blue Ridge Rock Festival. I was hanging out with my Loud and Clear buddies. We had a great time. The production went great, and overall it was a success. So I got a little behind the scenes footage for everybody, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay guys, so this is what a load-in looks like after 24 hours on a festival this big. Nothing's in the air, roof's not out yet. Here's all of our subs for one of the main stages. We got points. Points are hung for the main PA. And they'll go up to the roof structure. 2 points per this hang. And all these boxes will go in the air. This is just one speaker right here. There's 12 of these with a bunch of subs up in the air. So right now I'm on the front side of the stage. And another thing that people don't understand is we have water ballast to hold up all the to basically add weight to the stage so that it doesn't move. Here's temporary power. That's temporary power coming from generators back there. Here's some center fills, so these speakers will hit part of the crowd that's going to be around here. Some more center fills. Some lights. More subs on the main stage. This is the second main stage. They're side by side. There's more points for the other hang. So there'll be a hang there. There'll be a hang there, and there'll be 2 more hangs over there, as well as outfills. There will be speakers hanging from that thrust over there as well. There's more water ballast under the stage. So we were just under that main stage roof. This will be the middle section. This will be where Monitor World goes for that main stage. This will probably be Guitar World over here, all the guitar boats and stuff. I'll try to capture some of that later when all the bands get here and we have an actual day. But what happens is all the trucks actually come up to this dock right here and they back up. We unload gear here, roll it up the ramp onto the deck, and then, you know, push it and stage it various places. So moving on, this is the second main stage. We go under the roof again. We've got a bunch of points that have been hung by the riggers. They climb up there, and they put the burlap with the steel and hang the point, and then the points come down to these chain motors so that they can then be attached to the truss with all the lights, all the light fixtures already pre-rigged into the truss and hoisted up. So here's some of the fixtures. And just to give you guys a reference, like this is my hand, so you can see how big this lighting fixture is. And so this will be the main stage on the right side, and then over there is the main stage on the left side. side. Okay, what I want to show everybody here is when we deploy a system of this size, we don't just go out to the grounds of the festival and start putting things in the air. Basically, we use software created by the manufacturer to set up the system as we plan to deploy it and take a look at the acoustical properties of the environment. So all these dots here represent SPL in terms of dB, and so somebody has gone in and set the rig up and looked at it and emailed various systems engineers for all the bands and said, hey, does this look good to you? Is everybody happy? And then once we come to a conclusion that everybody's needs are met, we say, okay, this is how we're going to deploy the system. And at that point, each zone is put in the software. For instance, on the second main stage, the left hang, when I click on it here, you see that all these angles are then presented to me as a user, and I can print these out. And when we're in the field, we actually pin the boxes and deploy these boxes with these angles between them, between the line arrays. So like, if you look here, there's angles between these boxes right here where my mouse is, and as you move up the stack, those angles typically increase, creating a J array. And because we're outside in kind of a flat situation, there's not much, down angle, so the J is pretty light here. But if you were in a different situation, like we recently did a gig in the round where the audience was literally sitting underneath the PA, this J was quite drastic. But anyway, that's how we go about deploying a system of this size. And as you can see, this is a 3D representation of what was actually at Blue Ridge. And then, we ran the subs in a cardioid pattern, so one of the boxes was turned around as opposed to the other two. And we had two subarrays for each stage, and then those center fills were deployed in the middle and on either side, and then you had the outhangs of K2 boxes by L-Acoustics. So you can see this is a great representation. And then when we get on site, all the techs and the engineers that are working for the sound company, we get a list of these angles, and this tells us how high to lift all the boxes, what angles to pin all the boxes at, and it's also broken up into different zones, if you will. See, so here's one of the sub stacks, here's another sub stack, the main subs, all of them. We look at the front fills here. Here's some front fills on main stage 1. This says 2, but that was actually main stage 1. And then the outfills, right? This outfill, I shouldn't say outfill, but this outer hang here, the array, and it gives us angles for those boxes too. So I thought this was cool. I wanted to show everybody what this looks like. And this gets saved and passed around to everybody involved in the festival. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is how we drive both stages at Blue Ridge using a single box, and this is the XTA MX36. And basically how this works is we are set up at front of house, and we have two different main stage consoles. They're considered the house consoles. In this case, we had S6Ls, and we were sending AES from main stage 1 and AES from main stage 2 into this box, the MX36. And so in the center section here, you can see there's three different input sections. and A was main stage 1 and B was main stage 2. And basically this box acts as a switcher. And every time you want to hear what's coming into the A inputs, you can select this button right here under A, and every time you want to hear the B inputs, you can select this button and deselect A, and vice versa with B. There's even a third option of having C, but we only had 2 stages, so we only needed A and B. It goes even deeper than that, in fact, that we can ingest AES or Dante or analog signals. So how we were doing it was we were sending AES from both the house consoles from the SXLs that we had on site, and then when an analog desk came in from a guest, we would send them into the analog channel. So essentially for inputs A, we had AES and analog inputs populated, and the same went for B. We had AES inputs and analog inputs populated for B so that we could handle any situation. And then seeing how we had 5 or 6 bands a day on each stage, we would physically switch the analog outputs from a guest's console to another guest's console when it was their time to go on, or sound check, or whatever. And that was kind of loose. We didn't really have a schedule for who got the PA when. We just kind of, other than the performance, we just kind of all worked together to meet everybody's needs. But so that's how this worked. And then, when it came time to perform, whatever analog guest console was, in go mode at that time or performing, we would just have their respective button pushed, and then we were sending that signal in two ways. We were sending it over Dante, which eventually would be converted to AES because we were using an L-Acoustics rig, and so we had primary inputs on all the amps on stage as AES, and we were using analog fallback. So we also had analog lines driving the amp racks from front of house to the stage. So this is how we accommodate many guest consoles throughout the day between 2 different stages while driving a single PA, if you will. So I thought this was interesting, and a lot of people don't understand how we do things on a large scale, and this is how you have a box like this, essentially switching between all the different outputs, if you will, at front of house to drive a single system.